Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre market this morning, things are fairly quiet out there. When we look at the individual stocks, we've got a big change here where we've got Nvidia down while Alphabet is higher. It looks like Alphabet's or Google is starting to make chips which compete with Nvidia's chips. So there's a switch there. We also have AMD down 4% in the pre market this morning. So mixed pictures so far. Gold and crude oil are trading a little lower this morning, while Bitcoin is trading slightly higher on Tuesday morning. Now, here's something we haven't seen in a while: regular U.S. economic numbers. We've got retail sales coming out before the market opens, and then consumer confidence later in the morning. We also have PPI numbers. Of course, those are inflation numbers. They're also coming out in the pre market. Just a heads up, we're going to take a couple of days off next week. Monday and Tuesday, we will be closed. Next time you'll get charts from us next week will be Wednesday evening, and then next time you'll hear from me is on Thursday morning. Now, today is really the last full trading day of the week. Yes, the markets will be open on Wednesday, but it's really a travel day for a lot of people on Wednesday, trying to get somewhere for their Thanksgiving holiday. U.S. markets will be closed on Thursday. Canadian markets will be open, but nothing's going to be going on. And then Friday, U.S. markets are closed after half a day of trading. So it's going to be a quiet week from here on in. And so most of the big trades are going to be done today, and then things will start to smooth off as the week progresses. Looking at the VIX, or the Fear Index, it came down yesterday for the S&P 500, for the NASDAQ, and the VIX for the Russell 2000 is back on a sell signal. So some pressure came off the market yesterday. Next up, we're looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin recovered a bit yesterday. It closed above the previous day's high, which is a bullish sign. We are trading slightly higher on Tuesday morning, certainly nowhere near a buy signal. Now, I'm watching Bitcoin for multiple reasons. I think it might be a really good indicator of the market's risk tolerance. Right now, it is certainly the risk off trade. But remember, the people trading Bitcoin are the most aggressive, most leveraged investors out there. And, when you see them running from Bitcoin, what else are they running from? So Bitcoin peaked at the start of October. A couple of weeks later, the NASDAQ peaked and has been moving lower ever since, until yesterday, of course, and then it had a nice up move, not enough to give us a buy signal. Anything directly Bitcoin related looks something like Bitcoin itself, and we are certainly down at the bottom of the panic zones. Pressure zone has formed. Started to form a while ago, and we've missed several opportunities to start a new rally on the way down. So this is the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF. On the other side, of course, you've got the bear ETFs, and hopefully you have locked in some profits along the way. This morning would be a great day to lock in profits if you haven't already done so. Of course, we don't want to completely liquidate a position until we get kicked out. And you can see that we need to close below this lower channel line on Tuesday to kick us out of this particular ETF. Some, Bitcoin-related stocks have done better than others on the way down, and Bitfarms certainly stands out as one of those stocks that has held up fairly well. The big players in the Bitcoin industry, such as Coinbase, Mara, and MicroStrategy, have not held up as well. MicroStrategy apparently has been used as a tool to short Bitcoin. It's a lot easier to short Bitcoin using MicroStrategy, which is a Bitcoin holder, than it is Bitcoin directly. So that's put a lot of pressure on MicroStrategy over the past couple of months. And it is, when you compare what MicroStrategy looks like and how it has performed, compare that to Bitfarms, which had an incredible move up in October, peaked in the middle of October, and then has come down. Certainly has not come down to the degree that MicroStrategy, Mara, or Coinbase have over the past couple of months. So, on the way back up, Bitfarms is the stock that I'm going to be following on the way back up. Then, of course, I'll be liquidating the bear ETF when we do finally get kicked out. And hopefully we get kicked out at the same time that Bitfarms gets a new buy signal. Now, Monday was a positive day for the market. We saw the Dow move up yesterday on the back of Merck. Merck was the big winner on the Dow on Monday, followed by Amazon and IBM. IBM sitting right on the edge of a new daily buy signal. No joy for Procter and Gamble or Verizon or Disney or Home Depot. Home Depot having an inside day on Monday. Then looking at the S&P 500, we were up 1.47%. Then compare that to the equal weighted, so up 0.41%. So you can tell how much impact those big cap tech stocks had on the S&P 500 versus the equal weighted on Monday. The big winner was Broadcom, up over 11% on the day, taking us back up to the highs from a couple of weeks ago. Then we had Western Digital and Micron move up, not enough to give us buy signals on Monday. What didn't work, Carnival was the big loser on the day, down 6.78%, new low for that stock. Nothing going on for Paramount at the moment. Then Copart making a new low for this move on Monday. Looking at the NASDAQ 100, we were up 2.56%. Compare that to the equal weighted, which was up less than half of that. And again, you can see the impact of those big cap tech stocks. Next generation NASDAQ had a nice day. Still no change in trend for that index. Then looking at Marvell, that was the big winner on Monday, followed by AppLovin and then Tesla. Tesla trading right up into the channel, so a close on Tuesday above $424.67 would give us a new buy signal for Tesla. Then looking at Alphabet, Alphabet was up over 6% on the day. So a lot of people are focusing on Alphabet for the chips. Compare that to NVIDIA, which previously was the market leader. So it looks like Alphabet has taken over. NVIDIA was up over 2%, but did not close above the previous day's high. Then looking at what didn't work, well, Comcast was down on the day, followed by Starbucks and then Cintas. Those are the big losers on the day. Take a look at the Canadian market, which is just treading water up here, which is a good thing. At least it isn't trending lower. There's the TSX 60. We're stuck here at the price target. If we can take out the recent high from a few days ago, then 46.88 is our next target. The big winner yesterday was Barrick, followed by Kinross, followed by Shopify, which is back on a buy signal as of Monday's close. We traded up to the next price target. You can see that 234.38 would be our next target, followed by 250 if we can continue higher from here. Looking at what didn't work, Canadian National Railways was the big loser, followed by TELUS. One of our members was asking me about TELUS yesterday, and it's not something you really want to touch at this time. It's continuing to make lower lows. So we really need to see the pattern change before I'd be interested. We want to start making higher lows and higher highs. That is certainly not something we're seeing on Tuesday morning. Now compare this particular stock to the index. And how's it performing compared to the index? Well, it's not doing well. So if Bell, Rogers, and TELUS were all down looking like this at the moment, then I would certainly be interested in taking the first one that turned around and started to move higher. But that's not what's going on with TELUS at the moment. It is the black swan in the telecom sector at the moment. What else didn't work? First Service was another loser. And then Thomson Reuters. And then looking at the Vanguard Canada ETF, looks very much like the TSX 60 at the moment. If we can take out the recent high, then 64.06 is our next target to the upside. These are all high-risk trades up at these levels. Celestica was the big winner yesterday, and it closed just below the upper channel line, just by 45 cents below it. So we could get a potential buy signal, which would probably take us back up to the recent high from late October. Then looking at Fortuna, that was another big winner, up over 10% on the day, followed by Aris Mining, which was also up over 10% on the day. What didn't work? Maple Leaf Foods was down on the day, followed by Empire. No change in trend there. And then after generating a buy signal, TFI traded back down into the channel on Monday. So a close below $117.70 would kick us out of this stock on Tuesday. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. The futures have firmed up a little bit more since I started the presentation, so it looks like we are going to see some buying at the open on Tuesday morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Wednesday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theyuptrend.com.